Alright, hope everybody's enjoying their Thursday evening. Just wanted to record one AP Stats video. This is problem 4 on page 12 of the homework that is due tomorrow. And I'll just walk through. This was a problem that was texted in. It says a parent advisory board for a university was concerned about the effect of part-time jobs on academic achievement. To obtain some information, the advisory board surveyed a simple random sample of 200 of more than 20,000 students attending the university. Each student reported the average number of hours spent working, and then the effect, their perception of the effect on their academics. Less than 11, 11 to 20, more than 20, and positive, no effect, negative. Chi-square test was used to determine if there was association. Okay, and they give us the count. So that 4A is null and alternative. So the null, there is no association between time spent on part-time jobs and perception of effects on academics. The alternative, there is association, is no, is association. You could have just said, right, there is association between time spent on part-time jobs and perception. You all cannot even see what I'm writing. I apologize for not switching the page back. Here you go. No, there is no association between time spent on part-time jobs and perception of the effects on academics. The alternative, there is association between time spent on part-time jobs and perception of effects on academics. Right. So there we have our null and all alternatives. That's part A. Right? So we get our null, we get our alternative. Now let's go to B. Part B says what? Discuss whether the conditions for chi-squared are met. Okay, conditions, random sample, stated in the problem, expected counts. So random sample, we got that in the problem. The expected counts, which are listed below, every single one of them is above 10. Again, you can use 5 if you want, or 10. Expected counts are above both 5 and 10 for each cell. Cell is just a spot in the matrix, so like this is a cell, that's a cell, that's a cell, that's a cell, that's a cell. And finally, we assume each student's response is independent. Actually, you really don't even need this independent one. I'm going to put it anyways, but you really don't even need it. We assume each student's response is independent. Independent of each other, of other students' responses. But really, as I said, this independence one, you do not have to have it. You do not have to have it. You definitely need random. Definitely need expected counts are above both 5 and 10, parentheses 10, for each cell. Alright, let's see what C says. Given the results from the chi-square test, what should the advisory board conclude? So 5C, let's look. P-value is 0.007. 0.007. The test statistic, 13.938. Draw a quick picture. Again, picture is optional, but I think it's always just helpful to have the picture. Here's 13.938. This is 0.007. Since the p-value of 0.007 is less than 0.05 alpha, we reject the null and conclude there is association. There is an association between Association between what? What are we looking for? Association between hours worked and perception on academic achievement. Between hours worked and perceptions on academic effects. Alright, so p-value is less, so we reject the null, conclude there is an association. And part D, based on your conclusion, what type of error might they have made? Okay, so there's type 1 or there's type 2. Type 1 is when you reject the truth, so you reject a true null. Type 2 is when you accept a lie, so when you accept a false null. So what could they have done? Well, what did they actually do? Let's look back. In 5C, they said they rejected the null. If you reject the null, which error could you have made? Could you make the error about rejecting the truth, rejecting the null, or accepting a lie? Well, if you already rejected the null, this must be the error you made. If you made any error. If you made an error, you had to have made this error. This is the error, type 1 error, that's associated with rejecting the null. This is the error that's associated with accepting the null. So, we made type 1 error may have been made. Doesn't mean we made it for sure. May have been made. And then, what does it say? Describe the error in the context of this problem. Type 1 error. This would mean that the board, what? They rejected the truth, so they made a mistake. They mistakenly thought that hours worked affected perception on academics. All right. So they made type 1 error perhaps, and what would that have done? That means you rejected the truth, so that means you by mistake rejected the null, which means you by mistake thought there was an association. All right. Other than that, folks, hope this video is helpful, and let me know how else I can be helpful.